The Microchip Advisory Group run the self-report scheme providing safety figures on their members' products. The Microchip Advisory Group is a subgroup of the BSAVA, British Small Animal Veterinary Association. The membership of MAG is intended to cover all those who are actively involved in the sale or use of microchips. The current membership is manufacturers, distributors, databases, major purchasers and major implanters. So manufacturers, distributors, databases, major purchasers and major implanters run the scheme that provided safety figures for microchip implants. Design flow is built into the microchip implant self-report scheme developed by the Microchip Advisory Group. The microchip implant self-report scheme under-reports consistently year on year, mentioned by both Fred Nind, past chairperson of the Microchip Advisory Group, and the current chairperson Chris Lawrence. Fred Nind first mentioned under-reporting as a problem in 2003. He noted 2003 saw a marked increase in the number of self-reports through the adverse reaction reporting scheme. It is significant that several reports were received from some quite small practices, while many larger practices filed no reports at all. This suggests that there is an element of under-reporting which may be happening for a variety of reasons. Chris Lawrence went further in a conversation I had with him when he said, "Undoubtedly, I think drug reactions or anything where you have a voluntary reporting system is inevitably going to be underreported. It would be stupid to deny that, because when you're talking about practicing vets, a proportion will be responsible enough to report reactions. Equally, there will be a proportion that won't, and we try very hard, all the distributors try very hard to get people to report reactions." I have written, as chairman, a couple of articles. I have one going in next month pointing out to people that they should be reporting reactions. I've written to the veterinary record. They have been clear that people should be reporting reactions. So there is a positive push to get people to report things. You're always going to get an element, always going to get under-reporting. Anyone who tells you you're not going to get under-reporting is talking through their backside, basically. So that's the chairman of the scheme. So admitted under-reporting is ignored by those using these figures to justify safety, and has been for at least 7 years. The largest flaw in the implantation site itself. The Microchip Advisory Group recommends implanting in the scruff or zone A. Veterinary surgeons inject vaccines and other treatments into the same area. The dismissal of adverse reaction reports made possible because no concrete determination of the cause of reaction can occur. If vaccinated or medicated regularly at zone A, then vaccines, medicines or implants may be the cause of reactions. Isolation of the cause of reaction is impossible because of the multiple uses of this injection implantation site. So who designed the microchip implant self-report scheme this way? Well, the BSAVA subgroup, the Microchip Advisory Group, did. Why was it designed this way? This is less clear. Perhaps I should issue a position statement to explain. It isn't logical to design a system for capturing adverse reactions that is incapable of isolating them. Another major flaw is that veterinary surgeons who implant a microchip are unlikely to admit a procedure recommended and carried out by them caused an adverse reaction. The client may litigate or move surgeries. Adverse reactions can lead to soft tissue sarcomas, which are fatal. Expensive treatment and tests needed for correct diagnosis coupled with potential client loss would limit reports. Not legally compelled to report adverse reactions, only encouraged to do so by the BSAVA, veterinary surgeons have no compelling reason to report. If the reaction is not at the site of the implant, then how can we connect the microchip implant to the reaction? This is a common excuse used. Soft tissue sarcomas, metastases. The occurrence of metastasis may happen 1 in every 4 times, depending on the tumour type, according to Elizabeth Hershey, who's an oncology specialist. How do we count the reactions with the current microchip self-report scheme? Adverse reactions need fine aspiration, biopsies or autopsies for detection. Normal blood tests and x-rays will show nothing. How many owners would autopsy a dead dog to find out the cause of death? How many vets would suggest this, knowing that an implant may have caused the problem if they implanted it themselves? How much would these specialist tests carried out by specialist laboratories cost? So this is a serious flaw. Many implanters are not veterinary surgeons. Some are ordinary people who attended a 3-hour course and have no connection with the veterinary practice the animal attends. In fact, the ISO microchip implantation kits are freely available on the internet, so anyone can implant their own dog without even attending a course. So veterinary surgeons looking at a reaction may not notice the implanted microchip. Implants migrate often and may not be in the zone A position. How can a veterinary surgeon consider a microchip they did not implant as causal in a metastatized soft tissue sarcoma? Clearly, they can't. Many veterinary surgeons do not know where to report reactions or how to report them, and therefore could not report them. They don't know reactions occur. How can you report a reaction you don't know exists? Not legally compelled to warn clients about possible microchip implant reactions, the reactions themselves fly under veterinary surgeons' radars. Dentists explain adverse reactions to post and crown implants carefully to patients and therefore consider the possibility of reactions, but veterinary surgeons do not, yet no reliable proof for safety or lack of safety exists. This inferred safety based on a reporting mechanism that cannot capture most adverse reactions because of design limits. At best poorly designed, the microchip implant self-report scheme consistently underreports data admitted in yearly reports by both veterinary surgeons who chaired the Microchip Advisory Group. At worst, well designed for its real purpose, providing flattering safety data on the microchip implants regardless of real risks. Only industry insiders and the veterinary surgeons in the subgroup know the truth. Acknowledgement of massive underreporting potential of adverse reaction figures by the Microchip Advisory Group chairperson Chris Lawrence proves they know the figures are rubbish. That his predecessor Fred Nind mentioned this in a 2003 report proves the problem existed from the start. A tactic used to spin these nonsense numbers into credible data is to say maybe underreporting occurs, but only by a factor of 10 or a factor of 100. This is nonsense because the degree of underreporting in numerator data, the adverse reaction reports, is unknown. Even denominator data, how many dogs with microchips inside them, is sketchy at best, so any extrapolation of data is a guess, not remotely scientific in nature. Just a blind guess expressed in statistical language. Joel Lection, an associate professor of the School of Health Policy and Management at York University, Toronto, describes this tendency in medical data. The problems associated with reports are well known. Poor quality of submitted reports, significant underreporting of adverse reactions, difficulty in calculating rates because of incomplete numerator data along with unreliable denominators, and limited ability to establish cause and effect. Discounting flawed risk analysis data provided by interested parties, no statistically significant evidence exists proving safety, and peer-reviewed science shows links to soft tissue sarcomas. The precautionary principle ignored the mandate of market for interested parties and pushed uptake of microchips in Northern Ireland against animal welfare and the public interest. Compelling owners to carry out actions like microchipping that cause adverse reactions breaches animal welfare principles. Inclusion of interested parties may be unintentional by John Turrington's team, but it raises questions about the reliability of oversight in the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Someone should have noticed the supply of the only safety data came from an organisation with a veterinary director also chaired an industry group with a material interest. The data itself biased because of the source and underreported because of methodology and therefore useless.